So welcome everybody to Podcast S'mores. And today I'm really excited because I have my good friend and past colleague with me, Deana Brownlow. Hi, Deana. How are you?
Hi, hey Charlotte, I'm good. Happy day. How are you?
Happy day, right?
Yeah, for sure.
I want to give the audience a little bit of background about you. So I may read a little bit, but so um, Deana is a certified personal trainer, a nutrition coach, behavior change coach who works with busy professional women who are over 40. That's really her niche. And not just women, some men too, right?
Correct.
Right.
Yeah.
That know they need to make their health a priority by providing solutions and strategies so that they can excel without sacrificing time or lifestyle. I wanted to give them your credentials that you're a certified personal trainer,
Mhm.
nutrition coach, and trained in behavior change coaching. You're also sitting on Ariix Wellness Council. We'll get to that later, what Ariix is.
Okay.
It is the co-founder of an online private Facebook community called Hello Healthy. Is that right?
Correct. Yeah.
4,000 people. It's a
Yeah.
lot.
Yeah.
But Deana is really sought after in this space of these over 40 women and some men who are looking to get healthy and fit and lose some weight. And did I leave anything out?
No, I think that kind of puts where I'm at today.
All right,
Yeah.
good. So I also would love people to just get a little bit of a background on how we know each other.
Yeah.
Because I was doing the math, like when I was falling asleep the other night, I was doing the math on how long we've known each other. It's a long time.
We're not that old. I don't think it's possible.
I don't feel that old. We've known each other, it'll be 30 years next year's. So,
Yeah.
so do you want to, so we were the
22.
22, and this was my first pharmaceutical job, and it was yours too?
Correct. Yeah.
And there were 22 of us. We worked for Serona Labs, and we were in this 3-week, pretty intensive training program. And then we worked for Serona Labs selling fertility medications I was with them for 7 or some years, and you were with them for a long time.
Yeah. Yeah. I was there 16 years.
Yeah, that's a long
Yeah.
time.
Yeah.
But I
Yeah.
stayed in the fertility business, so we always saw each other. And then you segued a little earlier than I did over to sort of the health, fitness, healing, all that. And I'm now making a leap, even though that's what I've been studying like on the side forever. But yeah, and at some point I moved to Wisconsin briefly, and you'd covered the territory before me. So like there's just all these overlaps to us, which I think is interesting. But I'm so happy you're here with us, and we're going to get some more of you. So
I love the name of the podcast, by the way.
did you know what it like meant though? Like, did you?
Once you said it, yeah, it's catchy, and it's I think that's what people are looking for today. The people are looking to make connections. They're looking like beyond all those credentials that you talked about. It's like, okay, so what, what drives people? What encourages, what does somebody like you, Charlotte, who has that corporate background, and you've always been kind of in this health, what helps them make that leap, right? Who, making that jump. And so I just love learning about that, especially because women our age, we're just ripe with a lot of not just all the stuff that we've done, but just what's to come. And I love how people can, you can merge and meld and change and have a whole new life at this age.
Absolutely. And I think there are a lot of people out there, especially going through the pandemic and like really rethinking their lives. Of like, do I really want to be doing this? I mean, that's where I was at last year. And, at some point, and we'll get to that. It's my like first question for you really, is, what else, what am I here for? Like, what do I want to do with my gifts kind of? And I think a lot of people are at that place, but yeah. So to back up for one sec, s'mores is really like you're sitting around a campfire with like your sticks, and you put with the graham crackers and the marshmallows and the chocolate, and not that we want to promote that for your people.
Okay.
Just once in a while they can have that.
Right.
You have such great conversations out in the great outdoors over a fire and a campfire. So that was my sort of reason for, in other words, some s'mores is fun because we always want to get some more of whoever we're talking to.
Sure.
So my first question really is like, just what we were to piggyback on it is, how did you make, I didn't really talk to you much when you left Serrano in the corporate world. I would love to hear about that transition and like what made you make that leap, and did you just like quit and start, or like just, yeah, if you can just.
Yeah. So for me, it was at the time that I left corporate, I had been doing consulting for the company. And because of changes in regulation and things like that, it was time they were getting rid of the consulting arm that we were with. But they offered a director, what regional director, I can't remember what it was, but a director position, a sales director position. And I thought, no, that's like square hole with a round peg. I mean, that was not a good fit. And I knew that. And so I'm always been entrepreneurial. So I had already for about 2 years been running a little side company. And I just, at that time, my husband, I've been married to the same guy for 34 years coming up. And we've got 2 kids. And at that time they were young. And so it was a natural progression for us that his job just started to travel. And then the thought of me traveling, it was too hard. You couldn't do it. So I decided I was just going to just do consulting to those people in that fertility space, like I always was. The difference was they would pay me instead of the other arrangement. So I
So you're,
transitioned with that a
yeah,
couple years.
helping people in the fertility world figure stuff out, because it's a lot to figure out.
Yeah.
But how did you get into coaching people? I know you did a lot of like fitness coaching
Mhm.
and then nutrition coaching, but I'd love to hear a little bit
Yeah.
about that transition.
So in between that time period, I actually ran a company that I had started, again, entrepreneurial, ran that company for about 14 years and sold it. But it had just run its course. And
Yeah.
I think people watching this, you'll kind of get that sense of feeling. And I'm just one of those people that I had that sense that it was time to move on.
Mhm.
And I didn't want to stay there. So many times people will just stay there because they're stuck. They have the golden handcuffs. They can't, they feel like, well, I'm only 10 years from retirement, so I have to stay here. But for me at that time, it was like I'd done the best I could do with that company. And it was time for somebody else to take it, love it, grow it, expand it. And but I was looking around saying, okay, what am I going to do next? And I've always been passionate. You know this. I was the only one who was working out on those, the sales meetings. Like everybody'd be in the gym on Monday, right?
Right.
Yeah. And then Friday, nobody was in there but me. But so I've always been into fitness. And as I got older and started weathering the storm that comes with aging, I didn't, I was able to weather it pretty well. I didn't have a lot of issues that most people have. And I attributed it to being healthy and living, having some standards in my life that they were just part of my lifestyle. And so taking that, helping people learn how like, I'm a big believer, Charlotte, in strength training. I think that it needs to be one of the bases of, especially for women, because as we get older, I mean, men and women, that our bone loss and muscle loss, it just goes down. So if you're not doing something to prevent the loss, then you're sliding backwards. It's not like we stay the same anymore. Like aging is moving us. So there's things like sarcopenia that are really like, that's muscle loss
That's what
and
sarcopenia is.
sarcopenia. Yeah.
Yes.
And it's real. And I don't know if your listeners or this, but that one of the reasons most people end up in assisted living is because they can't get off the toilet on their own. They don't have enough muscle strength. They don't have enough arm. They can't get up off the chair. And so I just have, like, that just doesn't make sense to me. Like, why would we let our bodies get to that point? So that's so I transitioned from, all right, so I can do this. I like it. I am passionate about it. That's what I'm passionate about. So then I went and got certified to do personal training. About 6 months into it, though, I started to realize that I wanted more of a holistic approach. I didn't want to just stand there and tell people how many reps to lift or show them how to do a move. That was just too limiting. It wasn't enough of the big picture.
Right. And the nutrition part of it, the eating part, you had to spend some time learning more about
Mhm,
that.
mhm.
Well, let me circle back. The 40 is sort of a magical, not magical, it's a not magical number in the fertility,
Right.
in the fertility world, because you see like at 30, things go down a little bit for your chances of getting pregnant, and 35 a little more, and 40, it's like, it's a little bit alarming, right?
Yeah.
What happens to women, and if you want to touch on men too, but what happens at 40? Because obviously a lot of things happen if your fertility isn't as good, right? What else
Mhm.
is happening? I mean, it's a lot about hormones, I think.
Yeah, it's all about hormones, and it's not.
Specialty. So I wanted to throw that at you.
Yeah, no, that's great. Sorry, I didn't mean to
Gotta be
step
a
on you.
correlation, though,
Yeah.
right?
Pardon?
There's got to be a correlation that the stuff we learned selling fertility medications at age 40, a lot of people are gonna have problems getting pregnant. And at
Yeah.
age 40, a lot of people are going to have problems um, eating the same as they ate and staying the same weight and staying healthy. They got up
Correct.
there.
Yeah, correct. It's all, yeah, it's all it is all hormone driven, really. And that comes back to that common uh point where I said there's just had to be more to the picture. So just like, it's FSH and LH, and it's producing less, so it's not feeding the eggs, everything's different, right? That so it's not necessarily those hormones, but it is estrogen plays a role in there, and FSH too, but we're really talking more things like, how do the other hormones, how does your body handle the stress hormones?
Cortisol.
What's going on? Yeah, cortisol. What's going on with your metabolism? Your metabolism slows. Aging slows everything. It makes the wasting process faster, but it does slow your metabolism down. So, do we need as many calories, right? How our muscles adapt and respond to performance in the gym, and running and cardio is much different once you start to get over 40 into 50s. And then once you start to hit menopause, all that. I mean, everything changes.
A whole nother can of
Yeah.
worms.
Yeah, it is. And so what I find is we're trying to apply um, an old set of rules to a new body.
Right.
And that's why most people get so frustrated, because they did all these things before that would work. And then it's very common that I hear women say, it's like, it always worked before, but everything I do now has stopped working. Nothing's working.
They
And
had
I'm
always
just putting weight on.
feel totally blocked. Like when people come to you, what what are the things that you hear over and over from the women and men that come to you?
I think a lot of it is just what I just said, where it's like, I'm doing everything right, but I'm still gaining weight. I've never had belly fat. I have belly fat. I have back fat. I have that muffin top. Like, no matter what I do, I can't get rid of it. I've tried multiple diets and nothing's working. Or they'll take the weight off and then it comes back on, because the diets weren't really healthy lifestyle diets. They were quick weight loss, but we'll get into this a little bit later, but I truly believe in behavior modification, that you have to change how you approach, and you have to change your habits. If you don't change your habits, the only reason you kept the weight off is because you stopped eating and drinking certain foods. You'll go back to them if you didn't change the habit.
It, I was just on the phone with a good friend of mine from high school, and she's got a daughter who's 21 who's really battling this, like could lose all the weight and then gains it back. And she's someone that also does the same. But she's finally hit a place where she's made some of the mental changes.
Mhm.
She realizes that you can't eat the way you're eating all the time and sustain like a certain weight, that you have to make you have to start eating clean all the time, and then here and there you can have your cheat days or cheat meals or whatever it is, right?
Yeah.
It's a long-term thing. It's not like 4 months on and then 4 months back to the burgers and the shakes.
Yeah, but unfortunately, that's the standard American diet. That's the standard way that we diet. It's like we want a quick fix, and um,
And it's really a long-term health health, yeah, health change.
yeah, I mean, it should be, and if you want to keep it off, right? And a lot of times we unpack a lot of baggage. Like we kind of figure out what are some bad habits. Eating late at night. Um, Starve yourself all day and then just eat your whole amount of calories and then some late at night. That's, I think, especially women, I hear this a lot, women our age, that's a common trick that we all learned to do back in the 90s. And we'd work out twice a day, right? Or we'd overeat one day, like on the weekend, we'd splurge and go out, and then we'd turn around and on Monday we just starve ourselves for a couple days.
And so everything, your body's always trying to get back to homeostasis, right?
Mhm.
So we get it out of whack, and then it takes 3 days to get back into sync, and all hell's broke loose.
Yeah,
And we feel like shit. Excuse my language. We feel like crap.
you
Um,
do.
the process, I think. So,
Yeah.
before I would like you to get into like your secret sauce and like what you do, what your sort of formula is. And I know everyone's different, but
Mhm.
I would love to hear a little bit about your relationship. I know you told us a little bit about how you always worked out and all that, but did you
Mhm.
have a period in your life where you struggled with your weight, or or some kind of medical condition or anything like that? Like, I'm just curious if you have like a story around it, or if it, or maybe there's someone in your family that does. I don't know. Just
Yeah, I mean, I come from a family that there's obesity in the family, and struggles with dieting and relationships with food, but not anything drastic. I would tell you, in college for a short period of time, I was bulimic because I thought that was the way to be healthy and popular and thin. And by the grace of God, my body just got really sick fast, and and so I didn't play that game very long. But I will tell you, growing up, I really always felt like the pudgy kid, the
yeah,
fat. I look back now. We all look back at pictures that we thought we were heavy in high school. We're like, good Lord, she looked good. But
yeah,
but you kind of form those opinions. And one of the things I do find that when I work with the women of our age is that a lot of times I'm talking to the 5-year old, I'm talking to the 7-year old, that it goes back that far as to what we carry with us, that most of the time is that's where the habit started. That's where, so.
and why they're numbing with
Mhm,
food or drink,
mhm,
whatever it is.
yeah,
They're
or hiding or procrastinating or whatever. Yeah.
all of the different things. Um, yeah. So I would love to hear um, more about like what you're doing now with your coaching business. And
Okay.
I know we've talked, a bunch about it, but I'd love you to sort of fill in the gaps that maybe we left off of, you know, how you work with people, and sort of what your formula is. And as I said, I know everyone's different. Everyone is different, whoever you work with, but I'd
Mhm.
love to hear a little bit more about um, what you do in your program.
Okay.
Oh,
So I actually offer three different.
yeah, go ahead.
Okay. Sorry. Sorry. So actually offer three different ways to work with me, and it's because everybody is a little bit different. Sometimes when I start to work with people, they're not quite ready for the whole 12 weeks one-on-one. Many times people are like, if you can just get me started in the right direction, then I'm good to go. And and so there's a 4-week program that is developed that is more online, that's more casual, that's more kind of do it yourself, if you will, with structure. Everything that I like, my programs are built around a couple key points, and that is um, nutrition is key. Like if it just talking to someone earlier today is that if the food that we're eating today is causing our bodies harm, then getting back to clean food food can be the healer or the hurt, right? And right.
Yeah.
So my belief is that you need to look at the nutritional component, not diet, but the nutritional component. So that's the eating. That's what are you eating? And then also I'll take into like how are you exercising? How are you moving? What's your activity? What does that look like? Do you move at all? Right. And then I do healthy supplements because I just my research and study tells me that we can't get the nutrition from food anymore these days, even if you're eating organic, grass fed, it's just there's toxins in our water and our soil. Even if we're eating as clean as we can, the nutrients aren't in, they're not in the seeds and they're not in the soil, and so we're not getting them in the food. So I believe in healthy supplementation. And then and sometimes people need, I call them tools in the toolbox, right? So some people are really great at, and not many people, but some people are really great at giving up sugar, right? That's the problem. Like they're eating too much sugar. They're snacking late at night. They're feeding the sugar monster. Some people are like, okay, just put me on track and I can do it. Most people, they need some tools to help them. So, some external things to take.
Overcoming like the cravings and the triggers where they're just like, they call you the next day, like, Deana, I didn't have a good night.
Yeah.
Those calls, right? Where you're
Right.
like,
Oh, yeah. Oh, sure. Like, or hey, how'd this week go? Oh, not so good. Not, and we know because we look at the scale. So yeah. So I mean, honestly, that is a real thing. Like helping, because some of the tools and supplements that I use, they help the body cut the sugar carb craving. I say it cuts that sugar carb cord that is going on. I've Charlotte was working with some of the stuff that I have. I've seen a guy said, I'll follow your program, everything you want, but I'm not giving up my 2 liters of Pepsi a day. 2 of them,
wow.
yeah. And within 3 days, he didn't want them anymore. And that's a drastic case, but it's a real case of what can happen when you give your body some of the right tools. And so that's what we do. But in addition to that is the mindset. We address sleep. Sleep's a big component. People don't talk about it much. Are you hydrated?
I think sleep, and I'm interrupting, and we talked about this before, because Deana's from Michigan, and I'm from Connecticut, New Jersey, Boston, and I was saying like, I interrupt so much, and we just talk over each other here. And in the Midwest, they're nice. They let each other speak first before the other person talks. I said to Deana, I'm going to try to be good, behave, but anyway, so I just lost my whole train of thought about what you were saying, but it was a
Sleep.
triggers. Oh, sleep. Yeah, I mean, I think we used to be like, I'll sleep when I'm dead, and now they're finding so much research about it. Is like, I think it's like the number one. I think it's the number one thing. That's me personally, that
Mm-hmm.
we need to keep our bodies healthy.
Yep.
Is one of them, at least. But you are eating poorly, or like putting things in your body, like whether it's drinking or eating or whatever it is, your sleep's going to be disrupted.
Totally. Yep. Eating too late. What are you eating? Yeah. And then so one of the reasons sleep is so important is it's your body's time to regenerate. It sloughs off, it kills off the cells it doesn't need, it works on the ones it needs to. There's your digestive system goes through the process. It's like a washing. It needs to go through all this stuff. And when we don't sleep long enough, it's kind of like expecting machinery in a manufacturing plant, to just run forever without ever doing maintenance. So
Mm-hmm.
every time we sleep, we go through this maintenance cycle. And so sooner or later, things get burnt out if you don't maintain them. So, and they don't operate at peak efficiency. And that's like the component to weight loss, is that a lot of times sleep and stress, those are the 2 S's that a lot of programs out there that are like, take this pill or drink this shake and do this for 21 days. And it's just, in my experience, it's a bigger conversation. So we need to address nutrition. We need to address activity and movement, and what does that physical stress you put on your body. But then sleep, stress, of course, hydration is key, and then behaviors and habits. And that's the one, that's probably my secret sauce, is that that's the place. Because if I can't get you to change your habit, all this other stuff will be helpful. But again, the pendulum will swing and you will come back where you were. You'll start where you started.
Yeah, you'll go back to the weight you were at before, and you
And
all
then some.
but yes, the whole mindset is shifting, right? How you're looking at it and changing the way that um changing the way that you're looking at your health and your eating, and or all the maybe the past trauma. I mean,
Mhm.
you must have to have some big conversations with people when they fall off the cart, or initially in your introduction like conversation, tell you about their patterns with eating. And I'm sure there's so much around, well, when my dad and mom are getting divorced, like I started raiding the refrigerator, or like just things that they would use to numb.
Sure. Sure. And we still, like I said, you still do them today. But I always say that, we make food about everything other than just real nutrition. We really are terrible at making it a nutrition conversation. It's more a distraction. It's emotional eating, avoidance. It's a soother. It's you deserve it, right? Or it's punishment. It's all these things except for fuel for the body.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So back to kind of the question is, so a couple different ways you work with me. There's a 4-week program, there's an 8-week program. The 8-week is more like, you tell me exactly what to eat and how to work out and how often, and I will follow that for 8 weeks. That's what I need. The 8-week program is more detailed, more done for you type. And then the last component, or sometimes the first component, depending on how you look at it, is that it's the 12-week transformation coaching program. And that really is designed for those people who know they need accountability. They don't know why they do what they do. They think that they're doing everything right and nothing's working. And so they're willing to recognize the fact that they need that one-on-one accountability. And that's really, we dive deep into that. And the key about the transformation coaching program is we start small and we finish big. So it's a lot of habit stacking. It's a lot of just tweaking things in the beginning. We focus on getting them to do one thing really well.
Small goals, so that
Correct.
have this huge overwhelming goal where they're going to fall on their face, that you give them realistic goals that are achievable, and then you build on that.
Yep. And it's not, we develop the goals together. It's not like I do a lot of letting them guide that, because at the end of the day, what are they, what will they do? And then we'll have the conversation. If it's not enough, like conversation today was, this woman is doing great. She's consistently losing 1.5 to 2 pounds a week. Well, the last couple weeks it's been 1.5 pounds. And she said, okay, well, my aim for the week is to do 2 pounds again. And I said, okay, well, what could we do? What changes might you be able to have in your control that can inch us over that 1/2 pound? So we get 2 pounds, 2.5 pounds. And when you give the person that conversation, and if they get stuck, I'll help, but I do let them come to it. So her conclusion is like, well, I could stop eating so late at night.
Mhm.
I'll, so, and she asked, when should I stop eating? And it's like, well, we looked at her lifestyle and what works. And so she agreed that she was going to be done eating by 6:30 every night and no snacking. And then the other thing was, could she work out, could she find 15 more minutes twice a week to be more active? Add that onto her Peloton ride, or if she was going to go for a walk, whatever. But it's just little changes like that, but they add up to big points.
But then you also asking them, like, what do you think? I think empowers them. And I think we do all have the answers within us. However, we need our cheerleaders and our coaches and our people that
Right.
inspire us. And I'm sure, like in the 12-week program, that you stay really close to your people so that they stay the course. And that must just feel so good for them too, to have a cheerleader on their side.
I think it is. I think that it's excited. I think they're excited when they have some wins and they come to the call, the weekly coaching call with, they can't wait to tell me things. And we cover the good and the bad. And we also, the program also has some behavioral coaching models built into it. So there's homework and exercises. So it's not me just chapping away with them. We really like 5 reasons why this is going to work and 5 reasons why it won't work, because we want to call the elephant out. Like if you're someone who's had 20 different, you've been on every diet out there, well, we got to figure out what's your mindset approach to this one.
Mhm.
So
What,
we need to address that. Yeah.
what are we going to do differently this time
Yeah.
around?
Yeah. Or even what are you thinking in your head? Like, what are the 5 reasons this won't work? Well, the 5 reasons all the other ones didn't work, but we need to put them on the table. And then the next extra, then we go and we talk about that. And then the next week, the homework is that, okay, what are the 5 things that you can do that you have control over? So that doesn't happen.
Yeah, so you release those things
Hmm.
that are holding you back. And then once you do, I think once you do that, that's super freeing. And then your mind is probably a lot more open to success because your
Sure.
self-esteem is in the toilet when you feel crappy about yourself.
Hmm. Hmm. Yeah.
No
Or you
matter,
physically don't well. You physically don't feel well.
right, right.
So
Um, so I would love to hear one of your success stories with a client that you're so proud of and maybe even surprised you. Like you were just like, wow, like this is, yeah. You
yeah.
have
Uh,
one,
uh, Go ahead.
have one in mind?
I do. So there is a woman who she pretty much she would do what was asked of her, right, in the coaching calls. And this was funny. This is just she ended up losing. She did 2 back-to-back sessions with me. She lost 45 pounds. She's a realtor in Michigan. Our market is crazy. And I don't know if you know anybody who's in the real estate market, but they're entertaining. They're going out to eat. They're drinking a lot of alcohol all the time. It's very, very social. It's a demanding part of their job. They're up early. They're working weird hours, and so a lot of them, alcohol.
Right? They're on, sorry, I'm
Yeah,
interrupting for a sec,
yeah.
but they're on call all the time,
Hmm.
shut it down, right? They
Yeah,
don't give themselves a break
yeah, yeah.
mentally, physically, and they're probably eating on the run too.
Oh, yeah, lots. COVID kind of changed that a little bit, but we're going back to their eating out a lot. Yeah, they're eating out a lot, happy hours, social hours. They're not working out. They're sitting in riding around in a car or in an office. So yeah, it's not the healthiest environment for someone. So started working with this woman. Fast forward, she lost 45 pounds, but during one of the sessions when she was struggling, you know, this is what surprised me is that uh, she had started to drink a lot of alcohol, and during the week, and she knew that this was not going to be good, right? So one of her goals was to limit alcohol, and so at one time she told me she would have wine in her refrigerator for people who would come over, right? And I just said, so what happens when you have that really tough day and you're the one drinking the alcohol? Well, I'm not going to. I go, oh, but you will.
Yeah,
You have to remove the temptation. I made her pour it down the drain.
good for you.
And the surprising part is she did it.
That's
Because a lot of people will tell you, oh, I'll do it, but she, it's learning, helping people know themselves. But really, I think the other thing too is that in the beginning, some of the people I work with, they don't exercise at all. Like getting them to walk, 3 times a week for 30 minutes or 15 minutes here and 15 minutes there, that's a big deal. And this person could need to lose 15 pounds or 50 or 75 or 100. It's not about that. It's about they're just very inactive. And so or finding time or making the time. That's the other thing, is helping people understand the why
yeah.
behind why they do the things that are pay off, right? So in their health. So if you do this, you get this result. If you do this, you get that result. Many times we don't, Charlotte, we don't, People aren't stopping to ask those questions.
And it could be like, this is just random, but it was Hoda on the Today Show that said to her personal trainer was working with her and she needed to lose a few pounds at the time. She's like, I just want to be able to sit on the floor with my grandkids and play with them and be able to get back up. Like
True.
that's a big motivator for someone.
True.
That's probably part of what you do is like what that for her is a goal that, you know, in her life going forward, as she goes into her 60s and 70s, that she wants to be able to get off. A lot of people can't get off the floor, even in their 40s.
True. Their knees hurt, their hips hurt, their back hurts.
Yeah, it's so this woman, how old was she?
Oh, she is 52.
Okay. And
But,
so
I mean, it's pretty young.
and not ended, but the like when the sort of session ended and she had this massive breakthrough and lost all the weight, how did it change her life? I mean, she must have been so appreciative of you too.
Yeah, she's one of my biggest cheerleaders. She really is because she same thing. She'd been on all these medical weight loss, Weight Watchers. I mean, she's been through a lot of programs. I mean, and she'll say she always knew what to do. She just thought she was hiring me to help her do them. And it really, at the end of the day, what healthy looks like is nothing like what she thought it looked like. And it's sustainable. Like one of my favorite things to hear people say is, and I'm never going back.
Right.
I'm never going back. Right. But I gave them the skills so they don't have to go back. That's the difference with a coaching program.
That's awesome. Love it.
Yeah. Thanks. Thanks.
So let me see. I'm just seeing what we've covered. We've covered a lot.
Yeah.
I want a little bit about your Facebook page, which has almost 4,000 members.
Mm-hmm.
And you have a lot of great information on there. And it's a good community for people that are, you know, struggling with sort of being their best self, really, I'd like to say. Can you tell us more about your Facebook page?
Yeah. So it's called Hello Healthy. If you guys want to join, please, I don't know, Charlotte will put a link in or look me up on Facebook. It is called Hello Healthy. And it really is just that. I liked the name because it just made me kind of smile when I thought about Hello Healthy, you know, like whether you're there or you're trying to get there, I wanted to create a space where I have a lot of knowledge and I could write meal plans, Charlotte, till the cows come home. I love recipes and hacking recipes and how to take something that's not very healthy and make it healthy and fit our lifestyles today and all that kind of stuff going on. So for me, I wanted to create a space where I felt free that I could talk about whatever I want to talk about. Like, for example, you don't usually go on Facebook and talk about the fact that people don't go to the bathroom every day, right? But that's a real problem for women, right? And so I want to talk about that. I want to talk about the importance of why that you should be going to the bathroom, and then give the people tools to help them do that if they need it, you know, or maybe just a place where we can cheer you on if you're on a weight loss journey. I wanted a place also, Charlotte, where I could talk about the products that I do with the company that I partnered with. I wanted a safe place where I could talk about like why is it important that you read the ingredient label of your vitamins? Like do not trust them. Okay. That's all I'm going to say is, you know, if you truly get what you pay for when it comes to supplements, and there is nobody watching that industry. And one of the things that makes me crazy is protein shakes. So easy to make protein shakes clean, and so many of them are full of junk.
And those protein powders, some of them are, they're full of crap.
They are full of crap, and it's just fillers because it's cheap. It's very, very cheap, and they know you guys don't know what you're looking at, so they just assume.
Like protein, like one or two protein powders that you feel comfortable sharing.
Okay, so mine. I mean, honestly, so the company I'm with has one called Pure Nourish, and so plant-based. It's vegan, no soy. You don't want any soy, especially soy isolates. A lot of times, companies are chalking these bars and cookies and fake cereals and all this stuff protein powder with soy isolate. It's cheap, and it's not good for your body, and it's just a way to get a high protein count. Okay, so I prefer non-dairy, so you don't have to deal with any lactose issues. It's no sugar, so stevia based is what you're looking for. And you're looking for a plant base. I like pea and cranberry. They're closest to like a whey and casein, so you can get the protein a little bit higher. The reason I like the one that I decided to partner with is because I was looking for something that had more than just that profile. I wanted something that had digestive enzymes. I wanted something that had some vitamins and minerals, pre and probiotics.
Yeah,
So if it's going to be a health drink, let's make it a health drink.
exactly. You sold me. We just got a new blender, and
Oh, there you go.
I'm getting
Awesome.
this product, so I'm in. Um,
Awesome.
yeah, and there's like last week you did something like on Cinco de Mayo where you pulled out, it was like some kind of taco mix or something.
Oh, yeah.
It's like a 3-minute segment, but you were just talking about people like how much crap was in this thing and how you could make it naturally and easily. And it was, genius. I
Yeah.
loved it. It
Oh,
was
thank you. Yeah. So
so-
that's the kind of stuff we do in Hello Healthy is like, all right, so you can buy the Taco Bell or Lowry's taco seasoning to season your taco meat, which is, 25 ingredients and half the stuff you can't pronounce. And there's sugar in there, by the way. Or you can use 3 ingredients from your pantry.
right. And
Tastes
you
the same.
know how to make it. So
Yeah. Yeah.
I love
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
So I will have all that. I will have the Facebook page for you. So lastly, it's not recent. You partnered with a fast growing company, and it's called New Age. It's Ariix and New Age merged. We don't need to get into the whole thing.
Right. Yeah, I know.
But it's growing rapidly. You're now on the board of
Mhm.
directors for them. I have a few of their products. I have their face serum. My skin's looking great. I have their face serum and
Lovely.
scrub and a cleanser. But like this, I'm obsessed with this bottle. This is the water bottle.
Yeah, I have one too.
Doing a little, but it has a water filter, and I've been looking into our water is not clean, and even if you're
Mhm.
getting it from your refrigerator or this or that, like there's a lot of crap in our water. So I love the fact that I have this filtered water, and it's super easy. I bring it with me it's with me
Yeah.
all the time. It's like I should have a leash for it. But
The
anyway,
clapper, right? Just yeah, yeah, right.
tell us a little bit about the company and whatever else you'd like to share with us.
Okay. So I love this company because it checked all the boxes for me. I honestly did not want to do anything. I didn't want to partner with a company. I didn't. I just thought people can just go to GNC or Costco and buy their vitamins and stuff. And it came down to a point where clients were looking for more of a program to help them, and so I stumbled across the company called Ariix, Ariix, and I was with them for about 4 years. After a couple of years, because of my knowledge, I do sit on what's called the Wellness Council. So they basically come. These are lay people who are actually in the field in health and wellness, and so we work with the developers of products to help guide them, give them feedback and support. We report back to them what we see that the world around us is needing, and so that's been really, really fun. The reason I love this company is that they are committed to 100% clean. We have this gold standard, and the gold standard basically is like we just won't accept junk. We won't it's not. So here's another thing. So all our products are third party tested and certified, but not for one ingredient, which kind of USP will certify maybe the magnesium in a product and say, yep, USP certified. Well, there's all these other ingredients, but they only certified the purity and potency of one. So our company, we go to them and we say, no, we want all 10 ingredients. We don't use any manufacturing fillers or binders or flow agents. A lot of companies will use magnesium stearate, stearic acid, a vegetable stearate. Sounds healthy, but it's not. It's just a chemical. So you have a health vitamin, and then you put these chemicals on it. So instead of that, we use rice bran. Rice bran allows those pills to not get hung up in the machinery, but it's a food source. So a little bit of rice bran versus a little bit of chemicals. I'm going to choose the rice bran. So I partnered with this company because I don't have to I don't have to worry about any of you taking the products and worrying about the quality or finding something in there that is causing a problem. So that's why I love the company, and the array of everything. So we're a house of brands. So we're not just a weight loss company. We're not just a supplement company. We have clean air and water. We offer Noni is a new brand for us, and so the whole Noni line, which is a super fruit that has been around for years, and it really has some incredible health benefits. So we cover the whole gamut, and it's kind of like 360 degrees of total health and wellness. And I'm excited, to be able to share it with you guys. It's last year we did 560 million when we merged with a company called New Age, but 90% of the US is still yet to hear about us. We're a household name in Asia, in Europe, but the US market is just starting to wake up to us.
Coming. Yeah, it's coming.
Yeah.
And it falls in line with all the things that are really important to you. And it sounds like they really do their homework.
hmm Yeah.
If they would put anything in the
Yeah.
market.
Yeah.
For people. And so far, all the products I've used, I love. So, and
Thanks.
I don't know about that fruit you just mentioned.
Oh, no, the noni,
No,
yeah, noni is a fruit that is in some Tahitian country somewhere, but it's got some superpowers to it that have been, I mean, it's been around for a while. We just have gotten access to it through the New Age, collaboration. But I have some early success stories of clients who've had some chronic, like, knee pain or hip pain, back pain, just, that inflammation in the body. And people are giving me some really good testimonies from just taking noni. And it's a juice that comes in a big bottle, and you do a shot in the morning and a shot at night. Tastes like grape juice.
love it.
Yeah.
Put it in your smoothie too.
Pardon?
Put it in your smoothie with your protein powder that
Oh,
you
yeah. 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 And the thing is too, is we've got some great, this company is about looking to give you options so you don't have to go to medication. We don't treat, cure, or diagnose anything. And I certainly don't do that with my coaching business. But again, when you give the body the right tools, your body knows what to do with it. So if we can give your body adaptogens, if we can give it herbs, if we, before medicine, the Chinese herbs were curing people and keeping them alive and healthy and boosting immunity for years, right? So I'm excited to, Charlotte, see our world start to shift back to a lot of people pushing back, saying, no, I don't want to go on a statin. What's my other option? No, I don't want to go on a diabetic medication for the rest of my life. What's my other option?
And I think that everything that we need is from the earth. Like, I absolutely 1,000% believe that.
Yep. I love your
But
yeah.
but healing through grounding and all kinds of other things. I mean, I'm still like really exploring it, but I love that this company is looking, and I love essential oils. Like, I don't take Tums, or I rarely would take Tylenol. I would use peppermint oil or
Yeah.
something called Dijuice if my stomach was bothering me. Like, so I'm just throwing out a few things, but
Yeah.
that's
Yeah, we have an essential oil line. It's small. One of the things I personally liked about it is that I'm not a mixologist. I didn't want to look up a bunch of recipes, but if a common ailment is sleep, we've got a Calm. It's a mix, and we've got one that's for it's called Ice, so it's a little more for aches and pains and soreness and menthol kind of thing. But yeah, I just again, when you give the body the tools it needs, and you start to reduce the toxic load. That's the other part of what we're doing with this company, is we're reducing the toxic load. So, I don't know if our listeners today know this, but interesting is that the plastic water bottles that people are, buying in the cases and drinking, that, those plastic particles are sitting in the water and you are drinking them. The problem with all that is the phytoestrogens, the estrogenic effect it has in the body. So why are men walking around with man boobs so much, right? So they're tying this, and you may not know this, Charlotte, but they're tying back infertility in men to
Wow.
high levels of plastic in their bodies.
No.
So something simple, like reducing the toxic load, like something like this, this is 600, I think it's 600 plastic water bottles that you replace with this filter. Yeah.
Amazing.
So,
One plastic, the one plastic bottle use and one plastic, like where you use it once and throw it away is
yeah, it's
killing us.
crazy.
So
Yep.
I love it. I love all the
Yeah.
information you just shared with us, and having you on here, and learning more about what you do and what you're passionate about, and reconnecting again with you too. And over the last like 6 to 8 months has been really wonderful. So, is there anything else you'd like to share with everyone? I mean, where
Yeah,
can
I just, so I'll just leave everybody with this, is that if you don't feel good, I mean, if you just, it doesn't have to be about weight, but the older we get, the more and more people I talk about, they're dealing with allergies. We're dealing with, like you said, you can't get on the floor, your hips hurt, you can't sleep at night. That's your body telling you that something is awry. And start seeking out someone, whether it's me or Charlotte or whomever, who can start to help you to feel well. Because, living life and living it healthy and being well is what we're all after, right? We're looking for a healthy span of life. Nobody wants to live a long time, but spend 20 of those years, physically incapacitated or just survive.
anxiety right now from people, so much mental illness, and
Oh,
I
yeah.
think all the things that you're talking about or that I promote are about, having a clear mind too.
Oh, the gut brain connection is huge. And so if you don't change what you're putting in your body, I mean, why do we have dementia? Sadly, I have a brother who's 62 years old, has dementia. 62.
Sorry.
Yeah, it's sad, but that is very common. I wish it were not the norm, but it's very common, and we're learning more and more about that. But it really is truly the toxins that you put in your body and that are around your body. What's in your face wash? What's in your skincare? It's chemicals.
I mean, a lot of it is all like inflammation. That,
Exactly. Your body's constantly fighting to protect itself.
yeah.
Yeah.
So,
So,
uh,
yeah. So look for help. That's all I'd say. Reach out.
yeah, reach out. We'll have some links in this, and then I'm going to do some before, and I would like people to see some of the transformations that you've had, with some before and after photos, and yeah, we'll give them all the information to get, to find you.
Yeah.
Thank
Well,
you so
great.
much for this time, and
Thank you.
um, I will talk to you very soon. And
All right.
yeah, so if you want to